Hello, everybody. Well, it's day 22 in the wilderness. And I was thinking Romans 8:28, that God works everything out for the good. It's so true. It really is. Because I look back and I think on so many bad things that have happened to me. But in the end, if you really look back on it, if that hadn't have happened, then, you know, something good might not have come out of it. Like for instance, a few years ago, this guy that I thought was a friend, he ended up, long story short, did me wrong. He ended up renting me out a place, said that he was fixing to own it because he had been doing a rent to own. I knew he had lived there for a few years, but turned out it was a lie, and what he was doing was charging more than what the rent was, and then paying the rent out of that, and then keeping the extra money. And if work hadn't have slowed down and I got behind, then I never would have knew that. I would have just kept paying him, and he would have just kept profiting off of me. And all he would have had to do would have been call the landlord and, tell him something. But instead, he just totally ignored him and just didn't even say anything. Well, one day, he just shows up. And he was like, "Hey, where's Tim?" I was like, I have no idea. He hadn't lived here in a while. He said, "Really?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Do you live here?" I said, "Yeah, I've been living here for a while." He said, "Who have you been paying the rent to?" I said, "To Tim." And he said, "Well, I'm the owner of this property." And he asked me how much I was paying. And he said, "No, the rent's not that much." And he said, "Don't give him any more money." He said, "You start paying me." And I was like, "Oh, dang." So in the end, that helped me out, because then I was having to pay less rent. And then later on, when, work slowed down again, I got behind again. Like, no landlord would do the things that he did. He was such a good man. He was. And, like, I literally stayed there for 6 months and didn't pay any rent at all. And then, whenever I finally did move out to help me, because I didn't have the money to get a place. If I'd had money, I'd been paying the rent. But he gave me $600 so I could move into that extended stay hotel that I stayed in for a few months. Nobody does things like that unless they're influenced by God. They don't even necessarily have to be a Christian or have a relationship with God. But he can still use people like that. Influence them and make them, help them have compassion on you. And nobody can plan things out better than God. Nobody. And, you may be going through something tough right now. Technically, I am. I don't have a problem with it. In fact, I'm kind of enjoying it out here. It really wouldn't bother me if I have to keep staying out here even longer. But things should be turning up soon, because I've got everything caught up now. So, pretty much, as long as I keep working over, I will be able to set some money back to save up for a deposit and rent and everything. But I just thought I'd put that out there, because you may be going through a tough time right now, but in the end, it may have actually worked out for the better. You just got to look at the whole picture. And sometimes you don't know until you come out on the other side. But anyway, thank you for watching. I love y'all.